Hello. Well done. At least you fixed your problem. Ah, you know what? You've just saved this whole podcast. If you hadn't have had that little crisis, I wouldn't have realised that my laptop isn't plugged in. Well, I just thought, if people want
No,
to
no, I
get
mean,
an
it's fine. I mean, the
insight of...
chaos is, obviously, I mean, the chaos is very difficult for us. But
Yeah. Okay. I've taken my headphones off, so I can't hear you.
Oh, brilliant.
Ah.
Little does she know I started recording
He's
too.
licking himself now. Oh, fuck me.
So, it's the Water X podcast. We're very disorganized. Welcome back. I don't actually know where Kat's gone at the moment. She was meant to be plugging in her laptop. And now, who knows?
I just can't be bothered.
She can't be bothered.
You're gonna piss me off within 5 minutes, I bet you. Uncle Chris is not
Pippin?
gonna be happy.
I feel like it's Pippin. Pippin's gonna piss her off in 5 minutes. It's gonna be one of those weeks, I
Lie
think.
down then.
Well, thanks for coming by. It's good to see. It's good to see.
Oh, you're gonna get a boob shot now.
Oh,
/ crotch.
well, that would be fun to edit. Great. I really wanted to edit your boobs and crotch this week.
I have got my headphones on now, so I should...
Oh, hi, welcome back. How have you been?
Or not.
Oh.
Have I not...
Fuck.
Oh, this might be a me
Oh,
problem.
for fuck's sake.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I was like, oh, Piers has sorted out this new...
Yeah, I remember.
So it'll be great. He used it yesterday.
I told you not to let him use it.
I know.
I told you. Gotta stop him using it.
I know, it's so annoying.
Such bullshit, man.
And it works fine. It's just you got to find the right place. Whereas last time I just plugged it in and it was as easy as fuck. Now it's man.
What is your look? Okay, I know you're getting married. Okay, you've already gone into the approach of what's mine is yours, but maybe what you need is a little bit more. What's mine is mine. I'm gonna become like a relationship counselor of that kind of advice.
But the thing is, you're gonna tell both of us, tell the other one to go fuck themselves, and then it's gonna end really well.
And I'm actually actively gonna tell you, as I'm telling you to tell the other person to fuck off. I'm like, I have also told them to tell you to fuck off. So between the two of you, you got to work this out.
That sounds like a great idea. Oh, my voice is gone.
What's happened to you? What is this? What?
I don't know if it's gonna...
What's wrong with you? Why are you like this? Just drink some water. Jesus, what's happened?
Okay, I think I'm okay. Oh no, it sounds weird now.
What did you do?
I don't know. I just breathed. Oh my god, I started choking the other night, right? But I wasn't choking on anything. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't an asthma attack.
I wish you would explain it pretty quickly, to be honest. I mean,
I don't really understand. I don't know if it was... Because I wasn't even really congested, but basically... I was eating some peanuts, and I didn't choke on a peanut, I didn't realise I'd choked on a peanut, so I don't know if it, caught me, later down or something, I don't fucking know. And then I was, it felt like I was about to have an asthma attack, but then it wasn't an asthma attack, I just couldn't breathe for, this was only, 40 seconds, but it was, enough to be... panicking a bit, and Piers was out in the back garden. I thought, do I dramatically run to Piers I can't breathe? And then I was like, oh, if I die, don't make a fuss. And I sort of was like, do I get my inhalers? Like, I know it's not an asthma attack. Like, what?
Oh
Like,
god.
I'm like, but it wasn't like I choked on a peanut. I don't really know what happened. I just stopped breathing, and I thought this seems like a problem. But yeah,
Sometimes I think we should like, you know how like obviously we tell people these things on the podcast. People have these like this view of us, but I've always wondered like, imagine if like during the day people could just watch us, right? Because like, and I don't mean like just like watch us doing like typical day to day shit, but like fucking it
yeah.
up somehow. Like it's like how I was walking down some stairs at work, and then for some reason my
Oh
leg just gave
no.
way on the middle of a stair. So I fell down like 3 stairs, but then somehow managed to catch myself, and I was just like, it actually hurt more than if I just let myself fall. But I was like trying to catch myself. And like, oh, I was with people as well, so they saw it. But I was just like, people don't understand, like, day to day, how much I fail at the basic things. Like, what I
That's
did the
so
other day.
funny.
Yeah, like you're trying to carry, so you're trying to carry stuff, and it's like, it's not too much stuff, but the way you're carrying it is just
It
really
makes it.
inefficient, and so
Yeah.
you end up dropping something. So I was just walking, dropping stuff, and like
Oh
staring
wow.
at it as if it was the problem. And I was like, if anyone could see this kind of shit, they'd just be like, "Oh my god, you actually are incompetent."
Do you do it where you like look at the food shop or whatever you like, you know, if you've got stuff to take out of the car and you're like, I could do this in 5 trips or I could do this in 1 trip.
Yeah,
And
you try and work out how to minimize. You're like, okay, if we
then
go
you're like,
maximum
if I
effort right
drop,
now, then I can like do
yeah,
all of this in one go.
it
But
in
yes,
my
then you're
brain, I
aware that
look
if you
and I'm
drop
like,
it, something
okay,
will
so
go wrong.
this is 5 trips, but if I
Hmm.
try and do it in one, then the maximum trips I'm going to need to do is two, because then in the second trip I just pick up whatever I've dropped.
Hmm. Hmm. It's like you
And then
pick
you're
it, yeah,
like,
exactly. But then see,
I
my only problem
genuinely
is that
was
I then
thinking of,
think about it and I'm like, okay, but hang on, what happens if I drop this bag? If I drop this bag, eggs are
oh
gonna be
yeah,
everywhere.
game mode.
Okay, fine, second trip.
What, like, it's when you do dumb shit, like when I worked at Buskers, I remember, like, I think it was like hot milk or something went to spill on the side, and I put my hand out to catch it. Like,
This is what I
why
mean.
am I, like, why am I trying to save? Or, like, yeah, I remember holding a burning hot cup, and my brain didn't, like, tell me to put it down. They were like, isn't that really hot? And I was like, I guess so. And then, like, I was just like, why am I still holding it? Like, put it down for fuck's sake. Like, and then I just
We need
thought, I
it. We
don't know
just
why I
need.
did that.
We just need this stuff. Like we. It needs. It's like Big Brother, but instead of like the weird like sex stuff or anything like that, it's
Mm.
literally just 24 hours of us failing at life continuously.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people realize how much I fail at life daily. It's amazing that I make it through the day. To be honest, it really is.
I think the only thing that makes me feel better about myself is the fact Pippin is more stupid than I am. So, like,
Well, yes.
watching him trying to. Like, this is so funny. Um, our bed is is stupidly big. We've got a super king size bed, and our room is like
Mm.
a decent size, but like basically the room is the bed.
Mm.
Um, but
Which is
yeah,
actually pretty ideal. When the whole room is basically the bed.
yeah, that's yeah. But the issue with that is there's like a tiny gap between the end of the bed and like our sort of bay window.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it means when Pippin goes round to Pierce's side to get whatever Pierce has left over from dinner, and like if he leaves snacks or whatever down the side of the bed, Pippin then like walks down the foot of the bed to get round to the other side, and then he can't turn around, and like he can't. His like brain cells can't work out what to do, and like sometimes he jumps. He gets stuck, yeah. And like sometimes he jumps on the bed and like walks across the bed, but the rest of the time he reverses. So we go beep beep beep, and he starts like shimmying backwards, like, but in like slow motion. He's like, "What do I do?" And then sometimes he goes a little bit forward to then go backwards again honestly, it's like the funniest shit. And you just look at him and you're like, how are you that dumb?
I feel like I've done stuff like that where you like your brain just fails you and you're like, oh,
And like the thing is, if anything touches him, like as he's moving backwards, he goes forwards, so then he has to go backwards again. He like, or it's like he doesn't understand how doors work. Like the other dogs know how to knock the door open with their noses. Pippin doesn't, so he just cries until someone lets him in.
oh.
It's quite cute. And like with the stairgate that we had to get a stairgate for our kitchen because Pippin almost ate a tin of brownies and obviously that's not very good, so I had to get a stairgate. I put this okay, I'm gonna out myself here. So I put
Hang on, before you carry on with this, can I just say welcome back to the podcast, everyone?
Yeah,
I don't know how
back.
we started this, but we're going for it. Anyway, carry on.
It's quite so this fucking it's so dumb. I decided to post on I'm a part of a Black Rescue Greyhound Facebook thing.
Sorry, can you add some more words into that description?
Like a group page thing. And it's kind of helpful because like Pippin's got a pretty bald bum and apparently that's like a black greyhound thing. I can see he's just hopped off the bed. I don't know if you... Oh no, you can't see. Pippin, show us your bum bum. He has a bald ass. You can't really see because of the lighting. It's not great. Don't laugh at my boy. But like they chat about shit like that where it's like, oh yeah, we like all the greyhounds have that. It's just a thyroid thing or whatever shit. So Chris, you're gonna have to put it together. I can't get through 2 hours laughing. My COVID infected lungs is not. Is it because like my dog's got a bald ass that you're laughing? He's so cute though.
There's just something about the name. Oh god. Sorry, bald ass. Yes, I can get through this part. Okay.
So the group chat is for like, posting random shit.
Oh, so it's not just about discussing the bald ass.
No. It's like all these mums putting like, oh, I put flaxseed oil and oatmeal and then that cures the baldness or some shit. Like, why am I outing myself like this? So my dumb ass was like, oh, how do you guys like get your dogs to not... Basically, Pippin, if he thinks that no one's gonna catch him do it, he's a fucking big dog. He will put his like paws on the kitchen countertop and reach to the back of the counter. Like before with the other dogs, like if we put something at the back of the counter, they're not gonna bother. But with Pippin, because he's so long, he can just reach, like, even things that you think are too high for him to get, he can get. So it was a bit of a nightmare. And I put on this group chat, like, how do you guys, deter your dogs from, like, getting shit off the countertops? And they were like, they just kept saying, oh, I put my brownies, I leave them in the microwave or I leave them in the oven. I'm like, I do not trust myself to, like, leave shit in the oven. I've burned the fucking house down if I did that. I go to preheat the oven and I've just burnt brownies that I made 4 weeks ago. Like, can you imagine? I use my oven more than once every 4 weeks, just to clarify. but yeah, so I put on the group chat, like, what do people do? And I literally got, like, people were speaking to me like I was the dumbest person on the fucking planet. They're like, man, don't leave stuff on the side. It's like, yeah, okay. What if, like, there's a fucking hot tin or some shit? Like, what? And they're like, get a stairgate. And I was like, oh, okay, actually, that's not the worst idea. So we've got a stairgate, and Pippin, like, he doesn't like the stairgate very much because he'll walk through it, so he'll knock it open, and then obviously it swings back shut gently. On the swing back, if it touches him the tiniest bit, he freaks out, and then he bangs it, so then it bangs into him again, and it's this whole cycle of like panic. It's just the most ridiculous thing. He just can't cope. Honestly, this dog is so dumb. And he hasn't realised that he can jump over the stairgate either. Like...
Oh god, I held on for so long.
Yeah. Perks of having...
I love your dog, but he's a fucking idiot. You know that.
It is funny watching him freak out over the most ridiculous... Like, if he's got a yogurt pot, or like, say we give him a yogurt pot so he can, like, you know, get the last bits of yogurt out of it, he'll then carry it into his bed and like bury it in there, but then he won't sleep on his bed because it's lumpy. And he won't take the yogurt pot out of the bed, so then he will sleep next to his bed because it's lumpy. Honestly, the dog is so dumb. Yeah.
The entirety of, oh god. Oh, we're meant to be recording a podcast and I've just lost it. Well, hi, welcome back to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed that. What would you call that?
Pippin's dumb tricks of
Because I'm about 10 seconds away from naming this episode Bold Bum. And
Bold Bum. Oh my god. Yeah, that is quite funny.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a little while since we last recorded.
Yes.
And
which we said wasn't gonna happen, and then
we said it wasn't gonna happen, but to be fair, something did happen to you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've been talking for ages, so I feel bad.
Well, what you want me to feel? I'm not gonna tell the story for you.
Oh, okay. Well, like,
I mean,
last week...
I have things to say, but they're more of a... I feel like they follow on from... I mean, no, you go.
Okay. Basically, like, was it 2 weeks ago now when we were going to do the podcast?
Yeah, I think so.
And the clocks obviously changed, which threw somebody off a little bit. And then...
Oh, it completely broke me.
Chris was like, do you want to do the podcast? And I was like, yeah. I think I was, I don't know. I think I was like, yeah, I'm not sure. And then I was having a bit of, I don't know, something just wasn't right. Like, my brain wasn't functioning. So on the 20...
I like how what happened is you started by going, someone couldn't handle it. And then you're like, also my brain wasn't functioning.
Yeah, no, this is what I was going to say. So, like, we were going to just start it late, like normal, and I was down for that. And then I just couldn't get my shit together. Like, I was just fucking all over the place. But this was, like, sort of the backstory was I got the coil, like, the Wednesday. So we record the podcast on the Sunday, and I got the coil on the Wednesday. But, like, instead of just resting like you're meant to, like, we had the band over for rehearsal, and, like, I don't know, my solution was to get really drunk, and I thought that would help.
Why did you didn't tell me you did that?
On the first night, yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What's wrong with you?
Because the thing was, everyone kept telling me, like, oh, it's really bad in the night, the first night. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll drink a load. And I don't really drink very often. Actually, it was your gin that you got me.
Don't put it on my gin, alright?
Nice.
Don't try... Okay, thank you.
Piers watched me pour a drink, and the next day he said, like, that was so much gin. Like, he was like, you were basically drinking neat gin. I was like, oh.
Oh my god.
But I got through the night, I was alright. But then for a few days after that, I felt really, like, spacey. then we went to Pierce's cousin's engagement party.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna drink, I'm gonna drive, because if I'm in pain, then I'll just have pain medication instead of I don't know.
Brilliant.
I just thought at least that means like if I start feeling shit, I can go home if I want to, and like Piers can get the train home, whatever. Like at least that sorts me out. But I was fine. We stayed, and I think we got back at like 2, 3 in the morning. And then like on the Saturday, Piers was like, I feel terrible, and I was like, you were so fucking drunk last night. I'm not surprised. But we'd done a COVID test and we tested negative. Have you turned your mic off, or like?
No, I'm just being quiet for once.
You're just really quiet. Okay.
I'm just
no,
listening.
it freaked me out that I disconnected you because it went so quiet.
No. I mean, I can like
Okay.
cough every now and then if it would help you.
Yeah, no, that would
Just be like,
would be grand. Yeah, basically, so I was like, oh, you know, Piers, you're just hungover, like, and I'm just tired because obviously I was driving late. And then on the Monday, I tutored in the morning, and then I went to Tesco, and I think did I tell you about this?
I don't remember. Tell me again. I'll listen again.
I went food shopping. It normally takes me like an hour to do the food shop, something like that. I don't really like being in the shops, so I just try and do it as quickly as possible. And I'd never been. I went to Tesco in Luton, which I'd never done before. It was actually like it was pretty empty. Well, it was a Monday. It was on my way home from work, so I was just like, I might as well. And it was actually way bigger than I thought it was going to be, and it was really empty. So apparently that's the time to go. I guess. Whoop, whoop. But I don't know if it was partially because I didn't know, like, you know, when you sort of go into autopilot when you're shopping, you don't really think too much about. And then if the shops like change its layout, then it just really throws you. So like I kept zoning out in Tesco. And like I went down the egg aisle about 5 times. Honestly, like it was so bad.
People are watching you go down this aisle, like, what the fuck? Why are you going back down there?
No, genuinely. Like,
how many eggs do you need?
I bumped into people so many times, and I was thinking, you're gonna think I've got like serious issues, and like I'd pick, like, so Piers needed, he wanted breakfast bars, so I picked up the breakfast bars. And then in my head, I didn't think, oh, I need to get protein bars. Protein bars are right next to the breakfast bars. So then I went like all the way to the other end of the shop. And then I remembered, I need to get protein bars. So I went back, and they were literally like the shelf next, like I would have looked directly at them and not seen them. And I was like, something's not right here. But so I sort of took it easy, and I was like sort of mentally I had like an iced coffee. I was like, I need to just get home now. And there's still loads of roadworks in Luton and Dunstable, so I was just sort of like preparing myself for that. And then I got back into the driveway, put my head on the steering wheel, like parked up. I plugged the car in, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't know how long. Like with my head on the steering wheel, yeah. Like with all the food shopping in the back, I was like, I'm so tired, but not like in a I'm exhausted way, like just out of it. And I spoke to Steve, Pierce's dad, for a little while, and then he was like, "Yeah, you don't seem right," but I did a COVID test. It came back negative, so I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, it must just be like a delayed effect from the coil or some shit. I don't know. And I'd spoken to, like, my aunt had said she'd felt like really tired and out of it with her. So I was just like, oh, maybe it's that. So everything was sort of okay. And then Wednesday comes around. So Piers gets ill on like Well, I mean, he'd felt ill since the Saturday, but again, we thought he was hungover. Then he was poorly on the like Tuesday quite badly, but it was still like okay. It was just sort of like bad cold, borderline sort of flu-y maybe, I'm not sure. And then the Wednesday he tested positive. And I'm like there thinking, well, Pierce didn't have his booster. He had his first 2 jabs, but he didn't have his booster. Because he's terrified of needles. And my smug little arse was like, well, I've got the booster, which is why I'm testing negative. And I thought me just feeling a bit tired and stuff was maybe my version of COVID. That was wrong. That was I was falsely confident.
There it is.
Yeah, and then I wake up, I think on Thursday night, like this is like slightly random. I wake up Thursday night, I'm dying for a pee. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, that's not so weird. I mean, I've done that.
But you know when you're like, I'm gonna piss myself, like you wake up and you're like, this is like
you were really bursting, right?
Yeah, and you don't normally have that. Like you wake up before it's at that point.
Yeah.
So I like fucking run to the toilet, get to the toilet, and then I can't pee. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like what's going on here? And I was like, oh my god, I've got a UTI. I was like, oh no. And I start panicking as well because I'm thinking like they said be really careful that you don't get an infection while like after you just get the cold. So I'm slightly panicking. I was struggling so much.
It still feel like you need to pee, but you can't.
It was like you try and like push. Obviously you're not like you're not like giving birth to a pee, but you're like trying and nothing's coming out. But it's the most uncomfortable thing because you feel like you're gonna piss yourself and nothing's coming out. And normally, like, I don't normally have that when I get UTIs. Like, normally, I just feel like crap. It's not like an actual. Like, I've had it feel like it's burning me before when I've peed, but I've never had it where I've like literally feel like I'm gonna piss myself, but I can't pee. And my solution was to get in the bath. That was like the only. Because I get infections quite a lot, I had antibiotics, so I was like, that's great. Had them. I had like the cranberry sachets you get, and
yeah.
I was just like, I'm not fucking around with this. This can fuck off. So I literally like opened the medicine cabinet. I was like, right, I can have that. I can have that. I even had vitamin tablets. I was like,
I like how it's like a well-oiled routine for you now. It's just like, yep, here we go.
Here we go. I was like, yeah. There was a time where I'd be like trying to avoid taking stuff. Like my body can look after itself. I'm like, I don't trust this shit to work out anymore. Like I will just take like whatever you give me. I'm not fucking around. Yeah. So I like have the medication and I'm still like, this feels shit. I ended up having like 2 or 3 baths. Like I'd come out of the bath and be like, no, I still feel terrible. And then it got to the point where I was like, I'm going to fall asleep.
Is this still after you've just woken up? So this is like middle of the night stuff?
Yeah. I stayed up from 3 a.m. until like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, like not great. And then after that, I fell asleep until about 8. Then Piers woke up. He felt like shit. So I was like, great. This is fun. And then on the Friday, so like the day after, I then tested positive for COVID. So I was like, right, I've got COVID, I've got a UTI, and I've just got the coil fitted. This is great. And then I got ill with COVID for, like, it was bad for like 4 days, I want to say. And then it was just sort of like,
I'm assuming that you didn't actually get a UTI. Or did you also have a UTI?
Yeah, I did have a UTI, but I didn't go to the doctors about it because it was the. Oh no, couldn't have been on the first day. It was the weekend, I think. So I was like, oh well, I've got antibiotics anyway, so I'll just self-medicate. Yeah, fun stuff. Oh Peg, it's not for you. Do you mind? Yeah, what I was up to. So I was just self-medicated, and that thankfully went away. Feel like shit with COVID, and then I get my period.
Oh God. All right.
But the doctor said with the coil that like a lot of people don't get their periods with the coil, and so they were
Oh.
um and I was like, great. So I don't know if it's like a settling in thing or what, but then I started getting bad cramps. I'm like, oh my fucking god, my life is terrible. Yeah. So, but now I'm okay. I Yesterday was the first day I actually felt all right. I still get tired so easily. Um, yeah.
So you
So
got
it's
COVID, a UTI. You had your period whilst had the coil. You had the coil
mm
fitted. Like,
hmm
were you just ticking off things that you could have wrong and like ways to feel ill?
I know, like it's just fucking ridiculous, honestly. Like, and the worst thing is, my silly little brain was like, oh well, it was actually really good timing because it's the Easter break, and I didn't have like one of my students I have 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off from them, so I was like, oh well, at least I wouldn't have been getting paid anyway, so at least I didn't have to take this time off. And that was how my brain worked that out instead of,
That's
oh no,
nice.
my
It's nice that
holiday
your
is
brain
ruined.
prioritized the really important things.
Yeah. Um so that's how my
It's been
last two
quite the
and a
time
half
for you,
weeks
I'm
have
not gonna
been.
lie.
It's literally 2.5 weeks of feeling like shit.
It feels like it's been quite the adventure. Not a fun kind of
Yeah.
adventure. Like a kind of terrible, terrible adventure. But no, so
Um
yeah, I mean, yeah, so I mean, the clock's changing always messes me. Like, it messes me up more than it probably should do. But it's like I've never been I don't understand why we still do it. Is my first problem because it clearly doesn't have any relevance for us anymore. Like, surely the whole point of changing the clocks was because like people needed to work in the fields or kids couldn't walk in the dark. I don't know. And I just can't help feeling that's possibly been overcome by the invention of the electric light. I just feel like the second you developed lights, it kind of undid the necessity for that because we we can just turn on lights. We can do that. That's not new technology. So like oh, people have to go to work in the dark. Well, yes, that's there's street lights. My car has lights. The public places have lights. Like I'm not seeing the issue here, so I don't understand why we still do it. I know that I think it was. I'm gonna double check this as I say it because I don't want to like be fake news kind of person. But
yeah.
I seem to remember reading a few years ago that when clocks change, or when the clocks change, like I think people have like a higher risk of heart attacks and things.
What?
Yeah. So it was this article I read.
That
I'm sure
sounds
someone will
like
fact check me. But basically, every year after the clocks go forward an hour, hospitals report. And this was America, but I think it's consistent in other places. Hospitals say that there's
okay.
like a 24% increase in heart attack visits. But when the clocks go back, they drop by 21%. Sorry. And it's like, I think it's because even though it's just 1 hour, it like changes our sleep schedules and like it's like
Jesus.
stress. Like because of that small change to
Yeah.
things, the like stress it causes results in more people having heart attacks. And it's like it's not necessarily stress that you're like uh,
That's mad.
ready. And it's apparently it's like literally just for like a day or so, and then people kind of settle back into it and stuff. But yeah,
Oh.
it's like just that change to your rhythm of things because like you tend to fall into a kind of rhythm of you fall asleep at a rough time. Like I mean, for some people it's earlier than others, obviously, but like you tend to fall asleep at a time and wake up at a time and then things. Your body's in a rhythm, and
Yeah.
suddenly you are artificially going, okay, take that rhythm, move it 1 hour forwards, and your body's like, what? What do you mean? Like like suddenly you're eating an hour later maybe, and like your body's like, why are you doing that? I'm not ready for this. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a weird thing, and I like. It's I mean, like, I'm just still reading this article, and like, it's like in America, if you do a night shift and you might be doing, you might be scheduled in for 8 hours. Obviously, because the clocks go forward, you only get paid for 7 hours because you didn't work for 8 hours, um, because the clocks went forward, kind of thing. And it's like
Oh
apparently
dear.
it's just literally what was this one? They estimate that there are slightly more road accidents
Well, if people
after
are
the clocks change
tired.
because people are tired and things. It's
Yeah,
just this
that
thing of
makes
like,
sense.
it doesn't really help, or it might help, but like it causes problems for our bodies. I think just because it throws off our rhythm of thing, and it definitely does for me. Like I think I'm probably more sensitive to these. Like we spoke before about how like the seasonal effects of stuff, and like
Yeah.
how like that like winter months are just not the one because of that lack of vitamin D. Um, I think, and to be fair, there's like just evidence suggests that like the weather and like outside does have an impact on our moods and our like our things. Like our mood is down to a lot of things: what you're eating, what is going on in your life, but also just literally the world around you and what's like
Yeah.
if you want to be in a better state of mind, it really helps to have somewhere good and comfortable where you're living and like be able to resolve all these other things. So the clock's changing just fucks me up every time, every single time. It forwards back. I think I settle into this rhythm, and like, once I found it, because I'm so prone to like struggling anyway, especially like insomnia and stuff. It's like
Mm.
it's like when you found something that works. You know when like something you finally get something to work and you're like just leave it, don't touch
Yeah.
it. Like clock's changing, you touch it and like, oh, we'll just change it. It's like, well, that's broken it. Now I've got to fix it again. I can never
Yeah.
explain it. I know some people feel that have definitely said the same thing about it. Like it's just weird that we still do it. I think so that messed me up. Um, but I've also been trying this last week something. I'm trying to be basically. Lots of people keep
Oh
telling
yeah.
me, rightly so, that I need to be more self confident. And I've known that for years. Like, obviously, it's not like I don't want to just be. But I was trying to explain this to someone that I find it quite difficult to. Like, I am an anxious person. Like, that is me. That's like my thing. Like, I don't know. Like, it is not a personality trait, but like, it's kind of ingrained. And it's quite hard to change the thought patterns because just trying to overcome that can be so difficult. So I was just driving to work and I was like, I need to do something like this because like I can't just doubt myself constantly. Like this isn't helping me. And
Yeah.
I like as I was driving, I was like, I need to be more of a dickhead. I need to be more. And then I was like, yeah, we're gonna be
Did this
dickhead Chris.
coincide with you asking me if you think that you're too nice?
Uh, it did actually feed into that. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to that. I
Sorry,
just want
yeah.
to kind of no, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So I was like, I need to be more of a dickhead. I need to be more like assertive about things and like I was trying like one thing I'll do if at work and something and someone starts talking. If I'm talking and then someone starts talking over me, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, and I just stop because it's like, oh, you're talking, okay, fine, and it's
Yeah.
like I know that there's certain people who I think because they know that I'll just stop talking and they feel this confidence to just talk whenever the hell they want and I'll have to listen. And I was like, no, 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 no. We gotta when if I'm talking and I'm halfway through a point, I'll finish the point I'm making and then we can talk about it. Because normally what happens is they ask a question, I'm like, well, I'm just about to get to that actually. So yeah, it's like I'll just keep talking and stand my ground a little bit more and things like that and like being more
Yeah.
confident to say if I think something's wrong. And it was like I described it as like I guess in my brain it's almost like role playing. Like, it's really weird. It's like
You'll pretend, like, fake it till you make it. Like, you'll
it basically
pretend.
is like that, but like it's literally like separating it out. It's like, okay, if I just try and treat it as, like going to work, it's like, okay, you're going to be dickhead Chris. You're gonna be, and it's like I used it as a like because it's so I don't feel comfortable necessarily doing the whole like assertive thing, but it's like, okay, well just do it, just give it a name, like that's fine, okay, and do it. And it actually is really like this week. It's weird how much it makes a difference that people, because it's like happened when I was talking to someone, they start talking, and I just continue talking to finish what I was
Yeah.
saying, and they're like oh, and then listened, and it was like, oh, this is a weird feeling because it's like actually people are not like, is that feeling of actually being listened to rather than like talked at, when it like it's suddenly like, oh, hang on, he's still okay, okay, fine, fine, and like stuff like that. And like normally I would just, if someone's like, oh, I think we should do this, I'm like, oh, okay, okay, cool, and I was like, no, 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 actually I think we should do this, and I'm not even like that, like I'm going to do this because this will allow us to do this, and then I can do that. And it was like, it's just like, it's one of those weird things that people who don't have kind of the same issues of anxiety will be like, yeah, that's obviously just how you do things. But it's
Yeah.
like, literally, it's like trying to almost create a different personality that can handle these kind of situations. That is somehow, it's like it's genuinely worked. I mean, the side effect is that I found out that being confident is fucking exhausting. Um, because it's so against who I am and the way I think about things, that to try and be confident and continuously like, just like where normally the self doubt would creep in a bit while I'm talking to people, and I'd be like, oh, it probably sounds stupid, whatever. I'm like, no, 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 this is like, I'm just saying what I think and then leaving it, and it's like, it just is exhausting to try and be that person, and it's good, but it's definitely like it takes it out of me a lot. So like when I come home from work, I felt so exhausted this week because it's like that was a really good day and I got this done and I was able to like do this, this, and this. But now I am tired. I am
Yeah.
drained because it's like an introvert. Yeah, it's like an introvert trying to be an extrovert. Like you can do it, and then when you finish it, you're like, oh fuck me, like that was a lot. That was a lot. So that's kind of been exhausting. But no, I mean you're right as well about what you said about the trying, because it's that I was gonna try and warn you about this before we started and I forgot. But like when we did the last episode and you were like, you said the thing about giving you the ick or whatever, and I was like, it sounds really weird, but my mind just wouldn't let it go after the podcast. I was just like,
I felt so bad when you
no,
messaged
I
me.
that's why I felt bad asking you about it, because I was like, I don't want you to feel bad. I'm just like, it was just it stuck in my head, and I was like, maybe I'm too nice. Maybe this is my problem. Maybe like I'm not like a nice guy kind of thing of like, oh, I'm just too nice and that. But like, I was like, had a little bit of
But
like a self crisis, or like a little bit of like identity
well, no, like
crisis.
this is the thing. Like what I wanted to, like I sort of explain to you is that that's a me thing. That's not like a you. It's not a you thing. It's a me thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I first met Piers, yeah. Well, I thought I was panicked then. I thought I said Chris instead of Piers. When I first met Piers, I was like, why are you nice to me? It's like, what is wrong with you? Like, what's the catch? And you're waiting for like someone to show their true colours, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
like, don't give me a compliment. That's icky. Which was clear, like this clearly a me problem. But I don't know. Like, I find it really awkward if someone says. I feel like a lot of people do, but some people are better at taking compliments than others, and it's like I've. I don't know. I just find it so awkward. But that's a me thing. That's not.
I
That's not.
definitely suck at accepting compliments. I think one of my things is that like I know how hard I am on myself,
Yeah.
and I know that. I think realistically, I know that the way I am to myself is not fair. Like, I need to be nicer to myself. Um,
Yeah.
but it's difficult to do that. It's difficult for me to look in the mirror and be like, "You look good today," and just leave it at that. It's like, "Oh, you look good today." Apart from that spot you've got on your face, that's a bit disappointing. And like,
Mm.
it's like, why do I need to do that to myself? But I'm like, it's one of my things in life. I'm just determined to make sure that other people are not. I don't like. It's like when I feel the way I do, and like when I feel as bad as I do sometimes, it's like I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. If I can stop other people feeling like that, that is
Oh, that makes
like
sense.
my like whole thing, because it's like it's hard. Some of the things that like when my mind goes, sometimes things I think about myself, I'm like it, it like I don't want anyone else to ever think those things about
Yeah.
themselves, because I know how problematic it is, and I'm like this
Got
no.
you.
So I'm like, wherever I can, I actually like the people I care. I really want to help the people I care about and build them up and be like, no, look, don't.
Yeah, that makes
I'm not
sense.
gonna let you fall into this trap that I seem to be in. I don't want you to end up where I am right now. Wherever I can, I want you to like just like I joke with you when I'm like, you're an idiot, whatever. But actually, like when I'm being serious with people, I'm like, no, you, and I try and like build
But
people
I'm
up and
so
be nice.
comfortable. Like, if you say, "Oh yeah, you're an idiot," like I wouldn't even bat an eyelid. Like, if you said,
Well,
"Oh
that's the
yeah,
thing.
yours," I don't know, and then give me a compliment, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
I do that, and yeah, I definitely, I mean, I know that you're not comfortable necessarily, and I try and not overwhelm people, but it's like I almost can't help myself but try and like someone like I someone like they were like, oh, I feel like whenever you're here, it's like the sun's here, it's like the sun comes out, like, and I was like,
Oh.
what are you on about? You like, have you met me? I'm the most depressing
Yeah, no,
person I know. What the hell is wrong with you? But they were like, no, no, but like it's like uh,
so sweet.
it's like the this is the kind of words, not mine. Why did they say that? Okay, that's a whole other thing. But like the caring about other people, as they put it, and like the compassionate
Right.
thing, and trying to like asking people how their day is, and not just being like, oh, how's it going? Good. All right. But like asking more, and like like if someone wants to talk about something, I'm like, well, we can talk, and like I'll listen. I might not have the right advice, but I
Yeah.
can try and empathize with you and help you, at least feel less alone about it. And they were like, that's really nice. And I was like, oh, all right, weird. I mean, it's just like one of those things I do, I think. But yeah, so when you said that, I was like, maybe that is too much. Maybe this is a problem I have. Maybe this is why people. It got into this whole like weird level of like, is this part of my like is this like a problem I have in life? Am I too nice
Oh
to people? So
no.
people like, I don't know. I don't know what my brain was even deciding. It was like not get bored, but like what's the word? What's what I'm looking for? Um, hang on, let me just try and find to see if I actually said words like that in your.
I was gonna say
Oh yeah,
bum liquor,
it
but
was like
that's
the masculinity thing, right? It's like, oh my god, is this
okay.
like a real like? Is it like not? I don't know why I was really just going through like various things. I was like, is this like an unattractive thing or something in me that people are like, oh, he's cute.
Oh,
He's just cute. He's just
I got
nice. And it's
you.
like, I don't want to just be a nice person. Like, not, I hate using the word, but like, are people just looking at me like, oh, he's cute. All right, on you go. Like, I don't want that. I don't want people to just see me as that or see me as some kind of just validation kind of person. Like, I'm not, I don't want to exist just purely so that other people can feel better about themselves and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Like that's not it. And so I think my brain was just, it went to like like the extreme of the whole thing. It was just like, oh my god, what if I'm like too sweet and like sickly sweet kind of thing? Like,
Oh no,
like
you're
I
not
don't
like
want
that.
people
It
to
was
see me
difficult
as
because
this like, oh, he's so cute, look at that, and then like just see me as if I'm some like, I don't know.
it was difficult like messaging you back because I was like, oh, I don't want to say
Oh, you were
like,
busy
oh
at the
no,
time.
you're not too nice. Like it's not like a, because then that sounds like, oh, you're not nice enough. Like you're not sickly nice. No, you're not like up people's asses with it. Like you're just, you're just a nice person.
Yeah.
And like I think I messaged you this. I'm not sure. Like, but with in terms of like dating, like I've gone out with people before that are nice, and I've gone out with them because I thought that like, oh, they're a nice person, like so I'll go out with them, and they're a positive person to be around, like, and actually it's just not, you can't just go out with someone because they're nice, like, and I've done the opposite. You like go out with someone who's a dickhead because that's sort of exciting. You're going out with someone who keeps you on your toes and stuff like
Mm.
that. And I think most people go through the stage where they want to go out with someone who's a bit of an arsehole because it's exciting. It's like you don't know, you're constantly having to try hard, which is kind of, it's so weird because at the time you think that's exciting and good, but actually it's really bad. So normally you end up going out with someone who's nice after you've gone out with a dickhead. You know what I mean? And that's, sorry, it's slightly distracting because my dog's going like fucking scratching her ear.
I love it.
But like it's sort of, I'm again with COVID brain fog as well. Like I'm not
No, it's
explaining
okay. It's
these
good.
very well, but like with dating, like the nice guy's always going to win at the end of the day. I think if you're being
Yeah, I mean, I'm
fake,
not going down. Like, can I be like? I'm not going down the whole like, oh, girls will never want a nice guy. Like that's not what I'm doing. I don't.
yeah.
It's not like that. I'm just like, because I have this thing as well,
Oh,
right? Where sorry, I just interrupted you, but like, I have this thing in my mind where, or I had it a few weeks ago where I was like, I was, I think I was just not in a good space, and it's like a thought that comes back to me. It's one of these like intrusive thoughts that keeps coming back every now and then. It's like I came up with this stupid theory, and I was like, what if there are bad time people and good time people? Like, there are people you have around in a bad time who will just make you feel
right.
better and fix you. And then when you're fixed, it's like, right, thanks. It's like taking your car to the garage, like
Oh.
you hand your car over and they fix it up, and then you take it back, and then you leave, and then you go and drive like a fucking idiot again. And it's like, I was like, what if I'm just like a bad time person? Someone people go to because they're having a shit time, and
I
it's just
get
a
that,
given that I'll
yeah.
make them feel better. And then once I've made them feel better, it's
Have
like,
they
okay,
met
thanks for that.
Sangria
You're
Chris?
dull, and I'm gonna go and talk to someone actually interesting now because now I want that exciting thing back. And it's like, oh, I don't want to just be that like, I don't want to just be like a band-aid person, you know?
I get that, but like, have they met like Sangria Chris or Yahoo Chris or like, every now and again, it's like people have their drunk persona, right? Where you have this like, you have this every now and again, this really positive Chris like comes out of somewhere and you never know when it's gonna happen, and it's fucking hilarious. Like that night was so funny, and you almost didn't come because you were all anxious and not feeling it, and then you came, and I honestly, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life.
Which one are we thinking of here?
When you came to London
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
okay.
whole
Yeah, yeah.
train, like, it was just finding the videos of us shouting like limes or something, got enough
Jumping off
limes or
jumping off a train and running down a platform when I barely can see. Head
honestly, and I was
spinning, I'm
so
like, no, I gotta
confused.
get over to this train before it leaves.
You left like an hour before we did, so I still don't know how you ended up on the same train. And then instead of walking through the carriages, you get off the train.
No,
I'm
I
like,
couldn't.
what?
It was because it was two trains together, and to be fair, it's possible that there was a way through. But I was just like, I think I got to the end. I was like, I can't get through this. I can't get through. Jump off. Right. Okay. So next time a train stops, go to the door, launch myself off, launch myself into the next carriage so that I can keep walking through this train. Um. Oh my god, that was hilarious. That's true. Even like,
And just before that like before you met up with us, Piers had accepted a drink off some random drunk guy because he said he was born in Watford and Piers was born in Watford.
fuck's
And
sake.
Piers was accepting, like, it was a sealed tin, to be fair, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just like, don't accept drinks like from fucking
Why
strangers on
would you
the
accept it
train.
purely based on, oh, you're from Watford, I'm from Watford, here you go. Like, fuck's sake.
I know, so like I was sort of like, what the fuck is going on? And then you turned up, and I was like, this is such a weird night.
Yeah, it was such a weird time. But I was like, no,
Um,
so like, and I don't even think it's just like drunk Vita. I think I don't. It's one of those things. It's like if people know me, there's like different levels of like. I think I can be quite funny,
oh
like
yeah.
sober as well.
Oh no, and that's why,
Like,
like, the obviously the Yazoo period was before we ever drank,
wait,
and
are you still there?
yeah. Oh,
No,
did I?
no, I just cut out for
Um,
some reason. I don't know why.
I was gonna say, like, the Yazoo, that like,
Oh
you
fuck
know,
me.
that period, that whole, like, that was obviously before we were even like drinking, and then
Mhm.
stuff like we went to a couple of local festivals to see Final Clearance. We went to see you drove, and we were like having a little sing along in the car, and
Oh
you
god.
know we if you know that, and that's sober obviously, so it's not just like
Yeah,
you
I think I
being
just
drunk.
like in my brain I'm just like, okay, I'm this like person that people are only interested in talking to because something bad is happening, and so I've got to be like the guy who like fixes them up kind of thing, like oh because
You are
like I
good
said,
at
I
that.
want to make people feel better, so I'll do. And once that's happened, it's a bit like, oh great, thanks for that.
Hmm.
I'm a head out now because this more interesting thing is happening,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do that. Or this more interesting person has come along, and so I'm gonna talk to them now. But thanks for fixing it. It's like it it messes with your head. I think you just become this like. So I was just like in this mindset already of like, oh my god, what if I'm just like this bad time person? Like, I don't want to just be that. So I don't want to be this like cute, like make
One
you feel
like
better, and then you can go and carry on doing things, and you just like, right, fuck you, I'm done with you, throw you to the side kind of thing. Like, but like I have this like sometimes I have this like nightmare that recurs of like I don't know, just like being out with someone and then suddenly it's like they turn on your head like actually you're fucking I hate you. Can you go away
oh
now?
god.
And so I just in my mind for some reason I feel like it's probably rooted in self doubt and all that kind of stuff. But it was like this feeling of what if I'm just like the safety net, Like
But you.
you go for like like you have this exciting thing and then it goes wrong. So you're like, oh, and you're falling down, and then whoops, safety net catches you. And once you're like feeling good again, you're like, brilliant, thanks for that. See you later. I was like, oh, okay, no, that's fine, I guess, sure. It's a weird thing. So I think for some reason I just my the pressed brain was putting these things together and being like, oh my god, you're too nice, like you're too this is the and it wasn't. I mean, I don't want you to feel. I know you probably will feel bad when I say it, but like, it's a me. This is a me thing. When you said that, I was like, oh my god, even my friends think that. Oh god,
Oh.
what have I done? Like, oh man. I need to stop this. Like, maybe I am too nice. Maybe it's one of those things. Um, now that I'm thinking, I'm like, no, that's not true. Like, that can't be true. I refuse to accept that's true. Um, and like when I talked to you and you explained that, I was like, okay, cool, cool. And I'm like,
Oh no, like if whenever Steve starts, because you know what Steve's like he thinks a lot of me, which is sweet, but every time he starts saying nice things about me, I'm like,
and I can't handle
stop.
it when other people say nice, but it's not like when other people say nice things to me, I'm like, it's not true though. It's not true. I've tricked you. I've lied to you. Like, none of those things are true. But I'm like, I don't know. I see it as a me thing, not a.
Yeah.
It, it's just weird. I was just out of nowhere. I almost became like quite insecure. That it was like, oh god, what if
I was glad
like
you told
everyone
me
just
though. I'd
thinks I'm
rather
too
you.
nice? Well, I wasn't going to. I was like, no, I'll just like I was like, get over it. Stop. Why are you thinking that? But
I did
it
shit
wouldn't.
myself though, because I was like, this sounds like you're like having some sort of breakdown, and I was like, because it seemed like too. I don't know that there was just something that made me panic. I
Oh,
looked
I'm
at Piers
sorry.
and I
That
was
wasn't what I
like,
meant to do.
no. Like I just knew like you weren't doing well. Like it was not a good. It wasn't like a normal doubt that I felt like when you normally say you say something and it's sort of like self-depreciating or something like that. There's
Yeah.
a level which is like, oh, okay, that's he's all right, like he's fine. But when he said that, I looked at Pierce. I was like, uh, I don't think Chris is doing too good. Like yeah, this is not normal level. This is below normal level. This is
I
like should
I
be
think my
slightly
brain was
panicked.
just tying things together. There was like, because like you've had this sounds really big headed. I'm not trying to sound big headed, but like when people are like, "Oh, you're cute" and stuff, and it's like, okay, and I think it's something like it's like this weird thing where I think for men, um, we see being cute as a bad thing.
Yeah, no.
It There's something in that that's like, oh, cute is not good, cute is bad, because I think the assumption is that it's like people don't want cute. Cute is bad. Don't be cute. Like if you are cute, you're too much. Um, and it's like,
But
but
then
what's
what
the
is the
alternative?
ultimate compliment? Yeah, like what is the ultimate like oh sexy? Like because the thing is, truth it like, you know, as somebody in a long term relationship, like sexy is like the 1% of the relationship. Like you do not sit there and think, oh you're fucking sexy, I just wanna have you right now. Like that happens such a small percent of the time.
What you mean when you walk in and see Piers on the toilet, you don't think, oh man.
Exactly, and like that's just normal. You're like you shouldn't be. I think if you're there thinking, oh yeah, you're like if you're there thinking each other's the bee's knees all the time, you must be exhausted in that relationship. Like not just from like just in a that sort of like first love obsessive
Yeah,
nature
yeah.
sort of way. Like I think um like a healthy relationship is realizing that the other person isn't actually perfect. It's just that
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
flaws are ones that you're willing to deal with, like that, and that you can better each other. And
hmm
yeah, obviously you still find each other sexy, but it's not like that's. I'd rather Piers
There's more to it, obviously. Yeah.
yeah, like Pierce and I definitely call each other cute way more than it's like, oh yeah, you're sexy. It's like, oh, you're cute because that's nicer to us.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Right.
It's like, I mean, like the alternative that I had was like, so I was thinking the other day, I was like, so what is my alternative that I want to go like full toxic male? Like that's not what I want to be.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
hate that. Like I'm not gonna be an asshole. That's not who I want to be. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those very stupid things. It's like, uh, it's like this massive bowl of stupid things that all came together in one go. And I was just like, because I looked at this message I sent you. It's like, is it too much? Is that why people always go, "You're cute" because I come across as too sweet? It's obviously not typical masculinity shit. So is it part of my problem?
Oh.
And I just reread that and I was just like, oh, that's not
Yeah, no, that's
good.
sad.
That's not good. That's not no. Um, yeah, I think I don't want anyone to just look at me and think
I think you're
this
pretty
guy is like
perfect.
a safety net. You know, I don't want to just be a safety net person
No.
because I mean, for one thing, it's exhausting to be everyone's safety net. So I don't want people to not come to me if they're having a tough time because I want to be there for them. But like, I don't want people to see me just as like, yeah, that like safety net that catches them
Yeah. No, that
because
makes
that's not
sense.
the way that I want to be seen. I think it was a very weird like. I realized I've just rambled for like half an hour. So if anyone's listening and got bored of it, I'm very sorry. Um, but
That's
yeah, it
like
was just
every
like a lot of
podcast.
self doubt the last few. But like I'm trying this thing where I was like, yeah, I'm trying to be a bit more self confident, a bit more like. Then like I'm sure there are people, like you said, there are people who are definitely like treat treat people like treat me like that, like the
Yeah.
like you'll fix me, but
Yeah.
those people
Like the
are
free therapist.
yeah, like those people are rare. And for anyone listening, there's a good chance if you're listening to this, it's not you. There's a
Yeah.
very high chance that it's not you. So do not like don't worry. Don't it's not you. If you want to talk about it, message me and be like, "Is this me?" And I'll be like, "No."
If you ask me, I'll tell you the truth. No,
no,
because
genuinely, it's
I'm
not you.
so protective over you that like I fucking would.
Oh,
No, like, oh no. I actually like thinking about people who have treated you like that. I don't know. You know what I'm like? I'm
and
so
I've probably treated people like that
confrontational.
myself. Like I've probably done that to people. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Um, and that
Yeah.
I'm obviously not. That's not something I'm proud of. But like, it's one of those things as you become aware of that you don't like to be treated that way. It's like you build
Mm.
it in to make sure that you don't do that to other people.
Yeah.
So it's like if I
Yeah.
have done that in the past, um, then that's on me, and like I would hope that I can. I can't go back and change that, but I would hope that I can learn
I
from it
think
and
like
not do it in the
if
future.
if you think about people who've caused you pain, like the most you want out of them is for them to not do that again to somebody else or to yourself
Yes.
again. Like you want them to learn from that. Like I know with my first heartbreak, for example, I was actually sort of thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking like uh what would I do if I ended up being in the same room as that person? Like what would I acknowledge them? Would I I've had this conversation with peers before, in the past before, like if we were in a room with, because he's got an ex that like very different dynamic their relationship, but like it's similar feelings and stuff like that. So um we're quite open with each other on that level. Like
Yeah.
if we're in a room with our ex, what like it's difficult because it's like, well, do you say hi? Do you like say, oh, I didn't like the fact you did this to me? Do you like
Yeah. What do you say?
what do you do? And I just thought like, if I saw this person, I would just be like, I want to know that I wouldn't say, I don't know, I wouldn't say this to them, but looking at them, I'd think like I hope that you don't treat somebody the way you did me.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like I know there was fault on my part with certain things, but like the things that I felt they did wrong. I just hope that they just don't do it.
Yeah, because I
That's
mean, you can
really,
only change. Yeah, you can only be responsible for yourself at the end of the day. Like those
yeah,
things, and like if you're aware of them and trying to change them, that's one thing. But yeah, you definitely if you're in the room with that person, I think you would want to Not
Like for
necessarily be like,
me,
you absolute bastard, I can't believe you treated me that way. But I guess if you were to talk to them, you'd hope that you can see that they might be different and understand.
yeah, well, it's like difficult because my situation, I don't really mind this being on the internet, so I've put stuff like on TikTok and that before, but I met this person when I was 16 and they were 23, and we
Yeah.
started going out when I was 17 and they were 23. Um, and like we were never in a proper relationship or anything like that. We just went on some dates and that. But the thing was, like, as a 23-year-old, I look at that and think I would never date a 17-year-old. That's fucking weird. And 17-year-olds are not responsible for realizing that that's if you're 20 and 26, it's a different dynamic. But I think at that point, there's something not quite right there, and
At 17, you
obviously,
think you know everything. And
yeah,
it genuinely does.
exactly,
I know that I feel like now I sound like the type of person I would have ignored when I was 17. But like,
exactly, yeah, you
you
do,
think you know
it's
everything.
exactly
Everyone
it.
goes through it. You think at that point, I've pretty much done this. Like,
I'm an
you're getting
adult,
through
yeah,
life. You're basically an adult. You survived the first 17, 18 years. Like, what's the problem? But it's definitely like you do a lot of, even in the last, yeah, we're both 23. Like the last 5 years, we'll say, like since turning 18 to now, it's like, yeah, there's definitely more things that I've like, if anything, every year I realize that I know less than I thought I did
yeah,
about
exactly,
everything. Like I suddenly am aware that I know a lot less about a lot of things that I was previously quite confident about, which is good because it makes me try harder to be better. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it definitely is a thing. I agree. I
And
agree for sure.
like with that person, it's like they can't take back the fact that they went out with a
No,
17-year-old. But like, I just hope that they now reflect on that and they realize that actually going out with someone that young is they're in a vulnerable situation, and I don't know. I just think, but
it's true. It's one of those things that I always am like. It's not that I want to have got this. Is not like, oh, I'm really glad that I went through the shit, so you don't do this to someone else. But it's like,
yeah,
at least like, if I was the what, you don't want it, but like, if that experience taught that person to do better,
yeah, exactly. Like, I
then
don't.
it's not necessarily worth it. But like, like, at
It
least
make it
something good
Yeah,
has come from it.
exactly. And I think, like, if I saw that person, I would be like, if I looked at them and thought they don't look like they're doing that shit anymore, I would be like, cool. That's a
Yeah.
done, Finny.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you've like forgiven them or anything or nothing like that. That's a different story. But like,
Yeah, but it's okay. I think
yeah.
if I saw that person and they were like dating some teenager now, I would be like, oh my fucking god, like what, Jesus,
Oh,
yeah,
especially now.
yeah, nah, yeah,
Like,
oh
you've
my
got
god.
issues.
But yeah, that's
I agree.
my thoughts.
But no, there you go. So
On
it's
it.
been an interesting. Basically, physically, you've had a, a bit of a shitter. Physically, you've been ill. Mentally, I've been ill.
I've
But
been
we
ill.
both, yet again, yeah, I feel like every week I must start talking. People are like, "Oh God, he's again with the depression stuff." But I think this is probably the reality of being someone
No,
who
I
has
really respect
these
you
things.
be like sharing like your updates and stuff like that, because I think people think, oh, they're
I
having a
think it's better
bad
to be
patch,
honest
like
about it.
yeah, like because people think bad patches last like a couple of weeks and like then they're fine for the rest of the year, or
Yeah, yeah,
they have a bad week and then they're good for the rest of the month, and they have a bad week and they're good for the rest of the month. It's like not necessarily like that, and I think you being so open has made me want to be more open, which has definitely helped. So
yeah. Good.
I think about like when we were like teenagers, when we were like 12 onwards,
Yeah.
and we used to have deep chats all the time. But I don't think we were ever actually that honest about, like, we'd have chats about the world and be like, oh, the world's such a depressing place, but we would be
Yeah.
like, I feel this way, like I feel like we weren't confident enough to
No,
share
I think you
those.
still wanted to try and present this best side of yourself because it was like you didn't want to, but especially when you're young and you're growing up in school and things, you don't want to come across as being too vulnerable because
Yeah,
like I think many of us are aware of, like when if you're too vulnerable with kids, then sometimes kids can you know they spot the vulnerabilities and they're like, oh, I can use this. So like you
yeah,
don't want to be, but I think as you become an adult, it's like people might still think that, but you're like, well, what are you gonna do with it? Like we're not in school anymore. Like I think if you want to be confident, then you have to be willing to be vulnerable because in being vulnerable, what you're doing is, you know, you're you're able to trust people enough that you'll be able to open up about something and that they won't take advantage.
yeah,
That they will like listen, understand it, and not use that as something to hit you with later on down the line. And I
yeah.
think if you're able to have those conversations where you're fully vulnerable, then you're going to be more confident in saying how you feel because you're not ever going to be thinking, what if this is what if this next line is the thing that makes this person.
Pushes them away or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
exactly. Like I'm fairly confident with you that virtually anything I say is not gonna um okay, well not anything, but like like well, I don't know, I don't
I
think
was.
there's anything that I think that if I told you you'd be like, I can't talk to you anymore. You probably know
Yeah,
all the
no.
things virtually
I'm
everything's
trying
going in
to.
my head anyway.
I was
I'm trying
trying
to
to
think of
think
something
of.
that's so out there that like to be honest, if you can get past I like Coldplay, then you're probably alright. That's probably about it for controversial things in my mind. Don't like
No,
mushrooms.
everything that my mind went to was like really like just grotty,
I'm
grim.
trying to think about the worst
Uh,
thing I could say, and I don't know what I have that
Like,
you don't know. Like
yeah, like if you said that I enjoy shitting in Starbucks cups, I'd be like, good for you.
yeah,
Like,
that's disgusting.
I'd be like, okay, let's not talk about that, but fine, sure. I'll
Okay,
just,
great. Let's never talk about this again.
yeah.
Let's
But
keep that
like,
one to ourselves, yeah.
even that, I'd be like, okay, I can live with that. I think, I don't know,
I can accept it as long as you don't do it around me.
you'd
As
have
long
to
as you
do
don't pull a
something pretty
Starbucks cup
bad.
out when you're at the house and start shitting in it, then
Yeah,
all right, I
yeah.
guess.
I
I don't
don't
want
know
to
why
find
it
your
was like a
shitty cups.
Starbucks cup in my
No, I don't. It
like
was a very weird
I never
moment.
have stuff.
I thought you were just gonna say Starbucks toilets, but then you went Starbucks cup, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that's an extra level of repulsive.
yeah.
If it helps, I'm actually more the other way. I something about public toilets that makes me want to kill myself.
I have no right. So like, obviously toilets aren't great, but people be like, "Oh, I'd never go to the toilet at school." I'm like, do you seriously have that much bladder control? I literally
Oh, I mean, when
will
you have to go,
piss
you gotta
in.
go.
Exactly, like people would, oh no, no, no. I remember this woman like at the car garage. I don't know why I said car garage. Like obviously it's for fucking cars.
Well, it could
Um,
be a van garage or a truck garage.
was that felt really American? I was at the car garage. As as a like the place that we go to all the time. It's sort of like family friends with us, probably because
Yeah,
the Nolans have far too many vehicles. Um, and
killing the planet.
yeah. And I was like, oh, I need the toilet. And they're like, oh, we don't have a toilet. There is one at the petrol station, but like, go at your own,
You're impressed,
like,
yeah.
yeah. And I went there. It was fucking dark. Like, I'm not even gonna share what it was like with you guys because I don't want to put you through that.
No, it's not wise.
But I had to go. There was no like. My bum did not touch the toilet seat. I'll give you that image there.
They like hover slightly above the seat.
Yeah, 100%. And I went back and she was like, did you actually use the toilet? Did you actually go in there?
That's like, what's the
Oh,
next choice? The other choice is just literally doing it in a field or something.
piss
Which,
myself. Well, and the thing was, there was no like this garage is like on the main road. Like you can't. There's
oh yeah,
no.
what are you gonna do? Yeah,
There's
yeah.
there's no bushes like nearby. It's not an accessible place. Like, and obviously the car was in the fucking garage, so I couldn't drive anywhere. Like,
No.
I had to go. And it was just like the judgment. I was like, all right, you go get a kidney infection and
Well,
fuck off.
exactly. It's
Like,
like you're not gonna kill yourself because you wanted to go to the toilet, but like you were like, oh, I couldn't. You know, like imagine at the funeral, they're like, what happened? Oh, well, she needed a piss, but she wouldn't go at the petrol station, and then her kidney exploded. Oh,
that genuinely, like, or
okay. That's What if she just went to the toilet? Then she'd be fine. She'd be
do you
fine.
know
Yeah.
what? I don't know if I've said this on the podcast or not, but um, maybe I have. But you know, when you're going on holiday with your family and you're in the car and I think we must have spoke about this about toilet breaks. And then when you're an adult, you're like, I need a wee. I can stop when I want.
Mhm.
It's like the best feeling.
It
Being
is the
like,
best feeling. You don't have to worry about inconvenience anyone because you are the one in control of the situation. You could stop at
yeah,
every single service station if you wanted to. If it's one
yeah.
of those days, you know, don't worry about it. No one's gonna judge you
Here's
unless
something the other
someone is
day.
watching you or you know if someone's with you or something. But that's their fucking problem because they got in the
Well,
car.
even like, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't feel bad like making Pierce stop. Like, it's just like,
No.
well, what would you rather me do? Sit here like?
I mean, the two of
miserable,
you are
or...
so get so car sick that I've always assumed that you do just stop everywhere anyway.
Yeah, we do have to
Just
stop.
like
He
open the
said,
window and be like, okay, fine.
he said to me the other day he stopped 3 times on like a 4-hour car journey. Like,
Oh God.
it
Dear, oh
probably took
dear.
him like 7 hours because he's stopping everywhere.
Fucking hell. Sometimes it do
Um,
be like that. But yes. Anyway, look.
yeah. Sorry, music.
If you have listened to that, thank you. I think it's good to be open about this shit. For as bad as things feel sometimes, talking about things probably helps me a little bit. So I'm probably not in a worse place because I talk about things, and that's good. That didn't make
Well,
sense. There was too many words in that sentence that just didn't need to be there. There's a lot of double negatives and things, you know. All right.
okay, right.
Sorry,
Music.
Fuck me. We're a mess. All right.
Oh, are you gonna hit me up or do you want me to hit you up?
No,
Because
go on. Hit me. Hit me over. Okay.
okay, so I think we should start with Boyfriend by
All right.
Alphabeat.
Yeah.
Because so I just clicked on the playlist. This playlist we constructed like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And because we were ready to do the podcast and then like bailed at the last minute. So we're slightly behind the times. But I put this on shuffle and I'm like, this sounds like really sort of like 90s, early 2000s. Like, this is really weird, like that people have, because I just assumed it was a new song. I was like, oh, this is like interesting. And I was like, I know this voice. Why do I know this voice? And it was really bugging me. And then I suddenly realised, like, oh, these are the guys who do Fascination.
Yes.
Which I was obsessed with that song.
Oh,
It was so good.
I have like a backstory to this. My friend Emma from Denmark, who might be listening, hi, sent me this. I was on stream. She sent me a song. I listened to it. I was like, oh, you might like this song by these people. I listened to it and I was like, this feels really familiar.
Yeah.
This feels really familiar. Like, I think I know this, or like, I don't like. It felt like it was there, and she was like, "Oh, this is just a Danish band. These guys are just like some Danish band." And I was like, "No,
that makes sense now.
But I know these people. I know them."
Yeah.
And I was like, and it's the same. Later on,
It just bugs you,
showed me a song.
doesn't
She was
it?
like, "Oh, there's this song called Fascination." I listened to it. I was like, "I know these people. This song was huge. I remember this song." And she was like, "Wait, what?" Right, yeah. I know the song. I know the song. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize they were big outside of Denmark. And I was like, this song was like everywhere. Like, I
Well,
remember it being one of those songs that was on like, what's the shitty radio station? Heart Radio, or
Heart.
whatever. You know.
I knew you were gonna. It was Horizon.
No,
Horizon
no offense.
FM.
Horizon FM. Yes.
That was it.
No offense to any Heart fans
Good
out
morning,
there, but
Milton
it is.
Keynes from
It is.
Horizon FM.
It's just one of those things, like the classic, like standard local radio thing, and I remember this was one of those
It's
songs.
just cheesy.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I know these, and she was really surprised, and I was like, yeah. Like, I know this song, so I'm glad you had the same moment as me, of like,
Right.
because it was the voice that made me think it first, right?
It was the voice, yeah, exactly. And like, so I'm gonna slightly confuse you here because I'm like, oh my god, Fascination, what a throwback. And I go to Piers, do you remember this song? And he's like, no. I was like, what? This song was everywhere. And he goes, no, I don't know it. And I was like, wait till the chorus, wait till the chorus. Chorus comes and I'm like bopping along full blast. He's like, no, I don't know this song. I've never heard this song before in my life.
It was everywhere.
And I don't know if it's because like, I was like, this was like at the, I'm pretty sure it was like school disco vibes. Like,
yeah, I can imagine that.
Or like, I think, oh no, we would have been slightly older, I think, maybe. But, and I think it worked out that, was it around like 2006, 2008, something like that when it came out?
2007.
2007. So, I think I worked out that would have meant Pierce would be at secondary school by that point. So he might have been like into his like niches at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So that maybe makes more sense. But like, I was convinced that everyone knew this song.
Yeah. I never doubted
but no,
it. Oh my god.
That is so funny though that your friend suggested it and didn't know that they were big.
It was
over
weird.
here.
It was just so weird. I was like, yeah, and there was like some other songs as well, and I can't remember what it was, but I was just like, she played them, and I was like, yeah, I know this song. I'm just like, I really didn't think these guys were known at all outside of that. I didn't realize they'd had any songs that like were known outside of Denmark. And I was like, yes, I know this.
It is crazy though, like how some acts, like, so some bands, they all have like a random following in like Japan or somewhere really random, and then not
because
know
I had
about
it the other way where I was
ages.
talking to someone about Arctic Monkeys once, I think.
Oh, in America they don't.
Americans are like, oh, I've never heard of them. I was like,
yeah,
you've never heard of them. Like, you can't not have heard of them. And I was like, I like looked at it and I was like, yeah, they just didn't get big in America until
But it's the same as Oasis.
AM, I think.
Like Oasis, I don't think did like they didn't do very well in America. Like
that's the thing. It's like it's a classic thing here. Like someone pulls out a guitar in the UK and you play, oh, can you play Wonderwall? Like,
yeah,
it's just the meme, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's so weird. It's so weird. But yeah, I mean, it was a wild time. But no, anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you had the same moment as I did. I really enjoyed it. It's like a nice like
throwback.
Yeah, it was. It was like a. In my mind, I think I was back to being like a kid just dancing to this song that was on the radio or whatever. After an advert for like taxi companies or something.
Brilliant.
That's not right. But it's a real bop. It's nice. It's a feel good like bop. It's a bop.
Yeah.
It's a certified bop.
Like I put in my notes, I was like, oh, it's that I love listening to bops like this in the morning.
Oh. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It's very 2000s, I think, is the thing, you know?
Yeah, I would say
very
like
2000s.
early 2000, maybe like late 90s
Late
vibes,
90s,
but then it's actually obviously it's like 2007, so it's actually later than I expected it to be, which but
That's good.
kind of it's stylistic, isn't it?
Yeah. It made me dance, which is always a good thing.
Yeah. Hit me up.
Alright, let's go for... Well, sure. Want You Back by Naria.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping you would say the name.
Alright, well,
fuck
tried
it
it,
up.
failed
I'm
probably.
so bad. So this is like sad bops. I have like two sad bops, but like they're
Yeah.
sort of breakup songs, which is weird because I don't
Yeah, I was
naturally
low-key
listen
expecting
to.
your next line to be like, the engagement's off, the wedding's cancelled.
It's so weird, like listening to breakups, like songs and like sad songs, and you're like, I'm not actually sad. This is kind of like a new experience where you're not like crying along
It would
and
be like
meaning the
listening to
lyrics.
like Someone Like You by Adele, while like everything's going well and you're like, why are you listening to this? You should be crying right now.
Yeah. um, but I just felt like the lyrics were just really sort of like heartbreaking. I know that's kind
Yeah.
of the point, but I just really felt this person.
I
I don't
listened to
know.
it the other day when it was rainy or something. And for whatever reason this came on, I was just like, oh. Like, I was just like looking out at this rain and I was like, oh, this is sad. This is really sad. Um,
Yeah,
and
like
it's not
the
even
lyrics.
like, it's kind of like got a kind of like, it's not just like someone singing over a piano and it's really slow. Like,
Oh,
it's
it's a
kind of a
bop.
bop.
It's still a bop. It's a sad
It's
bop,
a sad
which is what
bop.
I.
Yeah, it's like you're bopping, but
Yeah,
you're not happy. Like, oh, it's weird. But
yeah, and
yeah, I really like
it's
it.
not like Adele level sad either. It's like you can listen to this and not like bawl your eyes out. Like it's okay,
Exactly.
but with the lyrics, like so the couple of lines that sort of jumped out at me were you. I haven't got the lyrics in front of me. I just sort of like loosely wrote them down, so they might not be exact. But you were never sober when you said I love you. Like
Hmm.
that was. It reminded me of Sodi. I don't know if we've talked about Sodi
Yeah, yeah, I
before.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of I don't know, like I think everyone's had some sort of relationship with someone where
Mm,
they're quite closed off about their feelings and it
mm,
takes drink or drugs or
mm.
like something for them to actually be honest and you're like, "Oh, like why couldn't you have just
Why
said
can't
that
you
when
say
you're
that when you're sober?
sober?"
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
did it take you
Why
being
do you only
drunk to
call
say
me
it?
when you're high?
Yeah, exactly.
um but no, I don't know, like that jumped out and then You Just Want My Body, which is another sort of like common theme I think in pop songs, but there's a reason it's common
Yeah,
because
it happens.
and I think
It
like the
happens.
way the world is, even if somebody doesn't just want you for your body, it's still like a feeling that people get is like probably more so with women.
Mm,
Um I want to say where there's like a insecurity there where you're thinking, oh, like is someone attracted to me because I have boobs or like and even if they're like they love your personality, there's still like a panic button people get.
I definitely I'm not saying it's on the same level for men and women and things, but yeah, I definitely I can kind of
Oh
relate to
no,
that
it
kind of
might be.
feeling of
I'm
like um yeah, like being worried that someone like you're not.
mm,
You think that people want you for that, but also you're worried if you don't have that, people won't want you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
get that. I get that.
But I think it really a really good song. Like it's definitely a car song. Like you can
Hmm.
have it up in the speakers. It's pretty.
It was like a good like nighttime like right now I'm looking outside and it's like sunny and stuff and things. It's like I'm not sure I'd want it on right now, but like you know when it's like dusk or something or like the sun's setting or whatever, like things are a little bit darker. Maybe you got some like
Yeah,
low lights on and something. That's the time when you want to pull this out. Like if you're driving and it's starting to get dark, like that's you want this song then. It
yeah,
just works.
yeah.
Great. That's me
Oh, that
imagining
was
my life as a music video. Okay, carry on.
that was depressing.
All right,
No,
move on, move
I
on.
zoned out. Okay, so let me have a look. Oh yeah, Versace. I've probably said I don't. I
Yeah,
know there's
just.
like different ways of saying Versace. Like I don't fucking know
I was literally
Versace.
reading about this morning because I was like, how do I say this? And then I got into a whole a whole thing. But yes, carry on.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry if I offend people. Um, All I Need by Versace.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, I don't. I suddenly it popped into my head about the Ed Sheeran lawsuit things, and that was like I pulled a really bad face, and it wasn't about the song; it was just about that whole shit show.
It would be cool
Um,
to talk about that next time, maybe. I'd like to
yeah,
know your
because
thoughts on that.
that's yeah okay. So Versace. Sorry. I really like this song. It's so chill. I love the I think somewhere in the oh no, maybe it's not the introduction, maybe it's the verse. Where there's like the harmonics of I'm guessing like an acoustic guitar or something, and it just adds they've got a little bit of a rhythm playing and it's
Yeah.
just the same thing over and over again. But it just like adds an extra layer of some like of timbre like to the feel, and it's just kind of you can imagine them being like sat in a studio and then going someone just like pissing around and be like, oh no, like I like that, let's keep that on the track.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I like that.
I don't know if you
It's
remember a little
cool.
while ago, I think we talked about another one of his songs called Hiccup. And it's like the same
Oh,
kind
that
of
makes
thing. It's
sense.
very like I love his music because a lot of it is like based around this like him and his guitar and like doing something like rhythmic with it. Like none of his songs sound that complicated. Actually, when you try and like play them, it's like, oh, hang on a second, there's a lot going on here. But
Yeah.
it just works and it feels very chill and very like yeah, I love his music. It's very good for like if you're trying to like do work on something or do something, it's like the perfect thing to have on there because it just like it's not too out there. You're not focused on what you're doing still,
Yeah.
but it's quite nice,
Yeah.
chill like stuff that just it's a good soundtrack.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Virtually, by Katie Baser.
Yeah, this is what her third feature on the
God,
podcast.
she's basically a friend of the podcast at this point, right? Like,
So I actually put virtually down because this was before her new song "Friendly Sex" came out.
all right.
Um,
Look forward to discussing
and
that in
I
the
don't
future.
know if I don't know if did I say on the podcast that I went to see her live?
Whoa, no, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, so like must be a month ago now, maybe.
Nice.
I can have a look. It was so weird. Hang on, let me just have a look on the
Did you meet her
calendar. So
afterwards and be like, hey, we talk about you on our podcast?
I met her before. No, I like she was so nice. She came and gave me a cuddle, and I was like, oh my god. Um,
Oh,
and I was sat next to like one of her old friends. And we were
you've been on this whole like
chatting.
side adventure. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And basically, she turned to me and I went, "You don't know me," because I meant to be like, she looked at me as if like she was about to say a name or something, and I was just like, no, like I'm just a fan or whatever I fucking said, and I said, oh, I probably sound like I was gonna like stab her in her sleep or something, but um. She complimented, I think it was my eyeshadow or something. She complimented
Oh,
something. Um, and I was like, thank you, you're so nice. And it was really odd because she played this little Diddy venue called The Fiddler in Kilburn.
okay.
Um, and it was like there was a fair amount of people there. But I was like, this girl is gonna be on a big stage soon. Like
Really?
she is like I just yeah. I was a bit like surprised seeing her on this little stage because I thought, you know what, this is really like special because this is gonna be the last time she's doing this sort of venue. Um
Nice.
and she um she did. It was just sort of like her and backing tracks and that. It was, you know, there was no other sort of musicians playing with her, so it was like really like the experience of just their voice. And I low-key hate her, man. She's got such good tuning and her riffs are so tight.
This is your
Everything
Jordan McCampa moment.
effortless. Oh my god, yeah, no, like genuinely, you're like, fuck you. Like how, I mean, like obviously she works hard to get
Yes,
like
yeah.
to get where she is, obviously, but everything just sounded so effortless. And I think even if I spent 20 years trying to get to her level, I wouldn't even come close. So and yeah, she had such a good stage presence. And bear in mind, like, she's still so young, she must be about 20, so she's had the last couple of years being in lockdown and not being able to do gigs, and she's so confident and just like,
That's great. That's really good.
I was completely like completely impressed. And you know, I've been to a lot of gigs, and so for me to say that she was doing a lot of things right.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look. I can't actually see when I went to.
I will say while you're looking, I remember when we talked about the song "Haters," I think it was.
Yeah.
Which is very different to this one, because that's like.
Oh yeah, this is sad song.
This is like, I think in that one it was like a kind of mix of like singing, but also like. Not rap, but you know, like spoken kind of word kind of things, like
yeah,
things. This is very, very different to that, and it's really like it's really good when you find like an artist who can do that switch and make something that still sounds amazing, because both of those sound great in their own right, and it's like they're quite different songs. It's always just a good.
Well, exactly, and
like to be able to like use your voice for that, to be able to use your voice as one of those things, but also in this, like, she's got a great voice. Like, say the tuning it sounds really good in this, and like natural, and like it sounds professional. But also, it sounds just like it's almost like someone just went, "Here's a microphone, play."
Well, and she can like ad lib, and she can have a little chit chat while like the introduction of a song's playing. She knows when to come in, and like everything's just. She's just very musical, and
yeah,
like this song Virtually, it's obviously on like the sadder side, and it's very sort of touching, but it's sort of nice to have that contrast in like her set, because you go like, okay, like this is, you know, for the people going through a breakup right now, you have a little sad moment, and then you're like, fuck them, let's sing like a boppy song now. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just really, really nice. And the song she's just come out with, which we will chat about.
I will talk about it at some point. Let's be real.
Yeah, but this song is now. I don't know if you've clicked on her Spotify profile, but this song.
Yeah, I was
like,
literally just doing it a second ago.
It's gonna have like 1 million by the time this. It only came out like a week ago. By the time this podcast airs, I reckon it would have hit 1 million streams. And that's just crazy, the fact that we spoke about her like a year ago. Oh, well, maybe like 9 months ago on the podcast.
The last time we spoke about her, I think she had 2 songs.
Yeah.
I think she had Average Student, Haters, and now there's like all these other songs. Like, she's got an album out, and I'm like, whoa, hang on a second. What happened? What did I miss?
She's gonna go places, man. She's going places. Right. I'll hit you up, because I could literally talk about this girl for so long. So I
can tell.
I'll hit your last one out, which is
Jordan McCampa and Katie Baser are like the
and Sigrid,
friends of the podcast, aren't they? And Sigrid.
Yeah, Sigrid is literally our bestie, man. She liked our shit. That was honestly I was in the car when you sent me like the fact Sigrid had like liked our podcast. I was like, what the fuck?
I was just like.
And Pierce was so mad. He was so mad. He was trying to be supportive, but he was.
Why was he mad?
Because he loves Sigrid. He loves Sigrid. He was happy for us, but like, I think the fact that, you know, like, I don't know, being in the music industry and us getting like noticed by Sigrid,
me just
like,
making these shitty clips and tagging her in it, like, results in that. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing? That's not how you do this." Speaking of, the new album is on the way, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Her new album is
Sorry.
going to be a fucking fire. Sorry, okay, yeah. No, this isn't a cigarette.
Nell Ward. Nell Ward. Like, I'm slightly nasally at the moment, and so it might sound a bit. Nell Ward.
No, yeah,
Nell
it
Ward.
sounds fine.
How do
Don't
you.
worry about it. You're good.
That doesn't sound. It feels
You're
like I'm
okay.
saying it as two words instead of one word, but like. Nell Ward. No,
I mean, let's
there's
be
not.
real. On the scale of times that we've messed up, this is probably quite low key.
Okay. Never Want to Fall in Love with You
Yeah.
is the name of the. Why am I? Oh god, I can't fall apart this close to the end. I put. I quote. Damn, that slaps. Literally.
It does.
The bass. But like not just the bass, like, you know, it's just a fucking vibe. It's like it's funky. It's I put damn that slaps. The bass makes me happy. Vocal layers. Love the variety of sounds.
I love it. I feel like one day we'll be able to sell your notes, and like, you know, when we're a big deal, where it's like original notes in the World's Rights podcast, people look at it and be like, oh my god, she actually did write that.
Yeah. Yeah, so like obviously the whole vibe of the song is like funky, fun. I just liked with the vocal stacks, like how you've got such different sounding vocals layered between, like it's not like a standard chorus vibe. It's funky. Like everything sounds like it's been experimented with and it's unique and individual, and then it's been mashed together to make this pop.
Yeah. 100% I get you. Yeah, a friend sent it to me. I was like, I think you'll like this. And she plays bass. And I was like, you can tell this is like a bassist's song. You know, like it's got that kind of funky thing going to it. But I love it, yeah. It definitely is like a... I don't know what I was expecting when I first played it. I just wasn't expecting what I heard, and I was just like, oh, alright. And I think you're right, like it is. You listen to it and you're like, this slaps. Because it does. It genuinely does slap. It's, I can't stop saying it now, but, it's, and I quite like to like. Sorry, I'm still thinking about it. It slaps. It's really gone. It's really breaking my brain. I like the bit that's. I never want to fall in love with you because I know you would break my heart in two. There's so many things I would rather do than fall in love and end up blue. I was like, if this playlist is like almost like the heartbreak kind of playlist, this at the end of it is like, fuck you, like. I'm not wasting my time on you because, you know, I know what you are now. Like, I know that you're somebody who's going to break my heart. And, like, fuck that.
You're like, no, I don't have the time. No,
exactly.
No,
you see the message crap and you're like, nope.
Or it's like when you start getting feelings for someone and you're like, no, I don't have the energy for this now. Fuck off.
You get the feelings that are like, right, get the box. Get in the box. No.
Yeah.
I will not. Yes, I get it exactly. But it is. It does. I can't. No. Okay, it slaps. Great. This is ruined. The second you said it slaps, it's gone now.
That was pretty much all I had to say. Like short and sweet.
It does. It's a fucking bop. Yet again.
Okay, actually, like, so my last one I think kind of complements the same vibe.
Yeah, Love Shit by Lou Carla.
Yeah, that's Lou Carla. Yeah, that's how I'd say it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like her voice is so spicy, man.
Yeah.
I put in my notes her lower range is a little bit sexy.
It's so
dynamic.
Great.
She's just got like such a unique voice.
She does.
Like she can do it all.
I feel like it comes across in her voice and even the lyrics, but like it's like confident as well, which I love. Like someone who knows they're good.
Yeah.
Someone who knows they're good, and that's always a good like quality to have, to know that you are, you know, you got that. But yeah, because like you say, like I love it when
Wait.
someone can like the lower point of someone's voice. Like I have it with Chris Martin. Like, you know, he's singing. There's some songs where he uses that lower range of the voice, and
Oh
you're
my
like,
god, his voice is so
oh,
low, man.
like like sends shiver down your spine. You're like, oh, all
Oh,
right, all right,
I see what
okay.
you did there.
Um,
Oh, the lyrics for this is great as well. Like, it's not just. Sorry, I need to get the lyrics up. I did have them up, but I think I accidentally took them down when I was
what are
looking
you
at.
playing with this week, by the way? You got like some like it's like a tin of Vaseline or something.
No.
I just keep hearing this
I'm
metal
going.
like smashed down. Like, what is it? What are you doing?
It's the beer bottle. Basically,
Oh my god, it's a big monster calf. Okay.
Piers had this bottle lid shooter, and when we had the band over, he shot the beer caps everywhere, and I said, "Don't do that because last time he did that, they're everywhere," and I kept picking them up for weeks, and sure enough, that's exactly what's
That's
happened.
what's happened. Yeah.
So I found it, and then I've just been playing with it.
Yeah. I mean,
And I
it's never in
saw
my
it.
mind to be like, are you playing with something? It's what are you playing with this week?
Well, like, I saw it at the beginning of the podcast. I was like, oh, I can't play with that. And then somehow it's been in my
Somehow
hand
it
for the
ended up
last.
in your hand, and you.
Genuinely, like, I don't know when I picked it up. And it was probably about 5 minutes after we started. Like, I did.
Fuck's sake.
Right. Love shit lyrics. I had them up. Right. So, the chorus. Now, I was about to I was wagging my finger. now, now I think I'm ready for that love shit. All I ever used to do is jump ship. I don't know, like, the whole, and then it goes on to say, now I know I'm with it, I'm a good fit. Before I loved myself, I couldn't love shit.
I like how it goes
It,
full circle, but it's like the same words that mean two different things, because it's like oh, that whole love shit thing, yeah, like as a thing, and then I couldn't love shit
yeah,
as in I couldn't love anything. Like it's like
yeah.
different meanings, and it's like it's just one of those language things where it's like they're the same words, but the way they use is like you get it, you understand what it means. It's like the whole different. It just works. It's just good, you know. It's like
And it's not like a mind-boggling, like it's not like a new concept or anything like that, but it's
no,
just the way it's phrased is just really sort of fun and like um catchy and just I don't know, I like just vibe with it. I
no.
feel
I
like I
like
need
the
to stop
lyrics for
saying vibe
it
with
works for this week. It's like I've been so low for too long. I've believed you all for too long, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of like it's like me in this confidence thing that I'm trying. It's like Jesus, fuck me. All right, thank you. It felt like a round of applause. Um,
it.
yeah, of like you feel low and you're like convinced that like of all these things, and you're like, no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna be a bad bitch, if you will. Have my
Yeah.
Yas Queen moment. Yeah,
And
I've
like
fully gone
it
for it now.
it sort of like touches on that idea of, you've got to love yourself before you can love someone else and all that. Wait,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I said that right. And the whole all I ever used to do is jump ship. Like, I know like a lot of people, like their like friends who've said before that when they've got out of like a long-term relationship, they've been so scared to be alone that they've just like ended up dating people like back to back, even if they didn't really like them, just so they weren't alone.
Yeah.
Um, which it's obviously like it's so like sad that people don't feel. I'm not like excluding myself from this. I'm not like
No,
it's
I
so
think
sad when
everyone's
people
been
feel
there,
this
right?
way. That people don't feel happy or confident to be by themselves. Like
Yeah.
that's just so heartbreaking.
Which is one of those things that I
Um,
think is a good lesson always in life, that you need to learn. If you can learn how to be comfortable on your own, That's good. But not like you should learn to not be like, well, fuck everyone else. I'll just like you don't have to become a hermit, obviously. But like, it probably makes you a healthier person to be able to survive on your own rather than constantly need someone. Like, you know?
Yeah. Like I know some people won't get food by themselves, or they won't go to the like shops by themselves or anything like that. And like,
No, I did once. I went
like,
to the cinema. It was when the Coldplay documentary came out, the Head Full of Dreams documentary film, and I'd
ah,
never been to the cinema by myself before. And I think I'd asked a couple of people, and people were busy, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I won't go. And then I was like,
yeah,
but I want to. I want to go. And I just, in the end,
yeah.
I was like, I am going to, I'm going to go. I'm going to go do this thing. I'm going to go enjoy it because I think it'll be fun. And it was. It was actually a lot of, like, it's weird. At first, you're sat there like, oh, this is weird, like, guy in the cinema on his own. And then you're like, no, I actually quite enjoyed it. Like, I'd do it again. I'd go watch a film on my own. I'm not against that.
You get paranoid
It's,
thinking, oh, people are looking at me like, what
yeah, because
the?
you watch everyone else walking in groups and things, and you're like, oh, God, they must think I'm a loner. And it's like, at some point, I don't know, you almost think, oh, I'm actually having just as much fun as if I was here with someone else because, and it's like you haven't stopped yourself from doing something because of the fear of just being on your own. Like I'm
Yeah.
glad I went. It was a great, I really enjoyed it. It was a good experience to like see it.
I have that feeling when I'm doing like the food shop and I'm looking
Mm.
around people like people must think like I'm a mum of five, like with all the food I'm buying. I'm like, do I look like I'm 30 and like me whacking out my Tesco's club card and like I don't know, like I just every now and again I feel really I'll look at the cereal. I'm like, I'm choosing to eat bran flakes. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like fruit and like, I genuinely, my go-to at the moment is fruit and fiber. I'm like, I've become my grandmother. Like, what the fuck? And like, and I've been eating um fruit and fiber for like a year.
I respect it.
Just
I respect it. I
and
mean,
then
then there's
Piers will
me.
get
Yeah,
like
like some
Fruit
people are out
Loops
here
and
talking about the new Call of Duty game, and I'm like, well, I went to the shop the other day, and I went into Hobbycraft, and I bought myself a needle threader, and it's
oh,
like, and I'm really excited about it. But
that does sound quite fun actually.
it's made it a lot easier to thread the
Thread
needle. It saves
needles.
some time. But like, obviously, it's an incredibly boring sentence to have said.
Yeah.
It's the fruit and fiber of cross stitch, really.
My sister's like aged me when I was passionately talking about art. It was new at the time, but obviously not now. Like I knew Hoover, and my
Hmm.
stepmom and I got the same brand of Hoover, and we were really
You were comparing
enthusiastic about
notes.
it. And
Yeah,
then my sisters looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like,
yeah.
oh no, it's happening, it's happened. I'm an old person."
I had it the other day. Put the bottle cap down.
I
Um,
just did. Sorry, I'm sorry.
I had it the other day where I parked at work and I was able to park like on the ground floor and I came in and I was like, guys, this really good things happened. I just parked on the ground floor of the car park and then I was like, fuck me. This can't
Yeah.
be what I'm doing now. This cannot be me. I cannot be sat here excited because I parked on the ground. But I am. So there's that.
It's when you try and talk yourself out of announcing it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
no, I want
You
to
just own it,
announce
yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you are proud of
Well,
yourself for it.
I feel like we're letting people down by like ending the podcast on this. Sorry, I'm just like Pippin's being really dumb, and
Pippin's being dumb, you're picking up the bottle cap.
I just
You've done
thought
it,
I'd
haven't you? You've picked it up.
pan the camera. No, I haven't actually. I'm watching Pippin about to sit on Peg because there's.
Oh, fucking hell, Pippin.
Oh no, he just jumped off. Okay. We're about to finish. Don't stop.
Do you want me to finish on a good
Okay.
line? It's something you said that made me think of the This is how my life goes. I quite enjoy watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and so
Oh yeah.
we got to finish with the line: "If you don't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody
You
else?"
love. Oh yeah.
I was gonna go for the
RuPaul,
"Can I
you
get an
are.
amen," but I wasn't gonna do that. Can I get an amen? Thank
There
you.
you
Um,
go. Woo!
But I like it. It's a good line, you know. It's a good line. If you can't love yourself, how are you gonna love someone else? There you go.
Yeah.
Love yourself, everyone, because you're all awesome. Oh.
Anyway,
Well, thanks for coming by,
love you
everyone.
guys.
It's been a week.
I hope we made it worth your time.
Yeah, it's worth my time. I've had a great time.
I'm gonna put this bottle cap down and then we're gonna end.
When did you pick it up again?
I picked it up while we were laughing about the fact that I'm
gonna buy you some like ADHD toys.
Brilliant.
And
What,
I'm also gonna buy myself
ones?
those same ones because obviously, even though I'm mocking you, I have been picking. There's this like thing here. I'm gonna show you it, bro. It's like, you know those clips you get for like if you open like a packet of something, or like let's say you open like a Doritos sharing bag, and let's say that you're some kind of psycho and you haven't eaten the whole bag.
Yeah,
and you're
who
okay.
does that?
And
I
you
bet
like
your mum bought this.
what?
I bet your mum bought like the sealer thing to stop.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she can stop eating.
I can't.
So like, you know, like you get the thing. It's like the like clip thing. So like it like, you know, like the bag, like it opens up. You put like the bag in there and then like click it and it like seals it. And so I just sit here. I've been sitting here and like playing. That's been my thing. So I'm not any better than you, really.
You just got away with it.
I got away with it until now, but I outed myself because I wanted to go for like a solidarity thing with you.
Accepting moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like you're left out.
On that note, our shitty brain cells are going to exit.
Interesting way of phrasing it, but alright, I'll go for it.
Honestly, I'm tapped out. I've lost.
I'm
This
tapped out. I haven't heard anyone say that in ages, and I love it.
I'm mentally gone now. You're not gonna get anything.
No, we had a good run. We had a
Woo!
good run. If I can bring together a podcast out of it, we'll have won. Anyway, I love you all.
Bye.
Bye.